Hello, I'm Robbie Miller, and I'll be hosting IMAGI-NATION TV today from the beautiful Brisbane, where, look outside, it's beautiful sunshine. So today is week 18, it's episode 83, and we're featuring designers, special guest designers, I must say, and we're talking on the topic of hard work and what that means to us all. Now, yesterday we had three special guests. We had Shelley Morris, we had Alan Wu, and we had Rick Chazen talking about their own ideas of hard work and what it means to them. And one of the things I got out of the show is hard work actually means different things to different people. To some people, hard work is having a goal, having something you're reaching to and working on getting those steps to get there. But then for some people, if they do what they love and their work is what they love, then hard work isn't really a factor in the whole situation. So today we're going to be talking to four special guests about their own understanding, their own stories and their own ideas about hard work. But to kick it off, I'm going to start a 60-second challenge. But before I do, I want to just introduce you to the guests. So we've got Gavin, who's a Torres Strait Islander man. We have Jared, who's a Darrell person. We have Maria from the ACT. And then we've also got Dom, who I hear is a massive Australian cricket fan. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to chuck it over for a 60-second challenge. I'm going to ask some really quick questions, and the timer starts now. All right, Gavin, what is your idea of perfect happiness?
Perfect happiness for me would have to be back home in the Torres Straits, diving, fishing, just living by the sea, to be honest.
Awesome. Jared, what is your greatest fear?
Greatest fear? Not living up to my own expectations.
Maria, on what occasion are you out of your comfort zone?
Maybe right now doing this show.
Dom, what would you like to see humans do more of?
I love basketball and kindness. More acts of random kindness.
Maria, what do you consider your greatest achievement?
Oh, my greatest achievement, moving states when I had a lot of people in my life telling me that I wouldn't be able to.
Perfect. That's the 60-second challenge done. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start a bit of a discussion with your special guests. Now, just a little intro on all four of them. They are all mentors in the program. So these people volunteer their time for us, are pretty important and pretty integral cog in the wheel of what AIME does. Without them, what we do wouldn't work. So I'm now going to chuck it over to each of you. Maybe we'll start with you, Gavin. Just tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey and what has got you to being on IMAGI-NATION TV today.
Okay, sweet. So as you can see, my name is Gavin. I'm a Torres Strait Islander man from Murray Island in the Torres Straits. I finished my high school there in 2016. Took a gap year in 2017 where I tried to save up as much money as possible so that I could fulfill my dream of going to uni at the time. Went to uni in 2018. I've been studying secondary education, willing to teach math and HPE since then. As soon as I got to uni, I heard about AIME. I actually went to one of the conferences that we had and I met Robbie, and we threw down some tracks in the DJ technology and stuff like that. And then I ended up jumping on board as soon as possible. And I've been a mentor ever since, and it's been great.
Awesome. Over to you, Maria.
Yep, so as Robbie said, my name's Maria. I'm currently a psychology student at uni here in Canberra. How I came to find out about AIME is through an internship. So I'm currently obviously doing my internship now. So I've only been with AIME for a few weeks now, but I'm really, really loving it. I'm learning so much. And I think one of the coolest things about AIME is the number of values that you guys have, and being able to see how the values play out in my life as well, and how I'm challenged by them as well.
Awesome. What about you, Dom Dom? Tell us about your story.
2013, I actually, ironically, with the times we have right now, I suffered from a virus that pretty much wiped me out, lost my memories, had to rebuild everything from scratch. So even learning to see again, talk again, walk. And in that journey, I found the one thing I could do was hold a pen and draw. So I held on to that like a lifeline. And since then, I'm now at RMIT University studying animation. I used to be a designer and illustrator before I got sick, so I'm learning about that journey and what that was. And thank goodness I've still got that to hold on to. So I've just been working along with that, man. And yeah, what was the other part of that question, Robbie? Was that it?
Yes, but I just wanted, before I go on to Jared, just ask you, like, losing basically your past, your memories, kind of, what was that like for you emotionally? Like, how was the day-to-day life for you? Because I'd think that would be quite a challenge, but what was it like you? How did you feel?
It's scary at the start because really you don't even know what's going on. And people coming in, like when family was coming in, I was really registering that they were family. It's just, I guess the first thing I held on to was the brown coloured skin, because there weren't many brown coloured people in the ward. And you just hold on to whatever is there. It's like you've fallen off a boat and you've only got one little thing to float with in a massive ocean. Just clutch onto whatever and you hold on. And then deep down, my spirit kind of just said, this is where you just be calm, collect, and just breathe, really.
I love that.
Yeah, man, I love surfing and I can't wait to go back. I don't miss it.
I really love that kind of in an ocean with one thing to cling on to. I think that's sometimes other people in life that haven't gone through the experience you have, sometimes we just need that one thing to cling on to kind of build ourselves back. So really like that. Now, Jared, over to you. I hear you're a musician. Tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah, I try my best. Play piano, guitar, and I sing. And I've been gigging and doing stuff since I was a little kid. I guess my story is a little bit of a crazy one. When I was younger, I jumped around a lot due to my parents finding jobs all over the place. So I ended up going to 8 different schools around Queensland, Victoria, and New South Wales. So that was a bit crazy, but I learned how to make friends very quickly because of it. I eventually ended up here in New South Wales in Campbelltown, and kind of in a bad area, as per se. A lot of my friends that I played soccer with were, stealing things, and like they didn't really care about school. And I very easily could have gone down that route, but I kind of decided, no, I want something more for myself. I wanted to make my mum proud, so I worked my butt off in primary school and ended up getting into a performing arts high school, which was great, great experience. I learned heaps about myself while I was there, and gained so much in my musical career. But there was I think I was around year 9, I decided, you know what, I want something more, actually. I want to go and work at NASA over in the States. So I said to myself, all right, how can I do that? I'm going to need incredible grades. I'm going to need to be like the best at everything. So that's what I did. I started just doing absolutely everything: public speaking, debating, putting my hand up for every volunteer role possible. And that year, was a bit crazy, but it worked out in the long run, because over year 9 and 10, I worked up my portfolio enough to get into Sydney Boys for year 11 and 12. And going there allowed me to grow even more. So, and I actually believe I was the first Indigenous person there in over 30 years, which was an incredible opportunity. And being able to teach some of my mates about Indigenous culture was an incredible experience. And eventually ended up here at UNSW studying software engineering. And that's kind of where my story is continuing from today.
Well, thanks for that. Like, going to a school, being the first Indigenous person in 30 years is incredible. And, being an Aboriginal person myself, the one thing that we can do for non-Indigenous people that want to know about our culture is to teach them and be listened to, I guess, because we have such a strong culture and we're just full of stories and Dreamtime. So that's wonderful that you got to do that with your friends. Now we have some questions coming in on the chat line. One from Stephanie Beck to Gavin. Are there any high schools back home in the Torres Strait that you'd like to see AIME at?
Yeah, so back home, we've only got one high school, and that high school is made up of about 500 kids. So, I mean, if AIME could even get as far as Cairns, I think they've got AIME up in Cairns, but I'm not sure how developed it is there. But going through Cairns and then getting up to the Torres Strait would be amazing. Like the kind of support that you guys offer down here would be, I don't know, just be revolutionary for the kids up there and just to expose them to, outside of the island life and stuff like that. So definitely back home. If you Google Tagai State College, Tagai as in Tagai, you'll find the school, and it was pretty good.
I'm pretty sure after this we'll have a chat because we are in Cairns and I'm sure we can make the 4 or 5 hour journey up there. So watch this space.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, I want to ask you another question. The theme today is hard work. Now, I just want to know for each of you, what does that actually mean? What is the sentiment behind hard work for you?
So back to me. Cool.
Go for it.
All right, sweet. So when I think about those two terms, hard work and dedication, one thing springs to mind. So as I said, I had a gap year in 2017, and being back home in a remote area, it's really easy to get trapped in a cycle of just not doing anything and sort of not progressing personally. So I managed to get a job in high school, and during that gap year, I just made sure I worked my butt off and saved as much money as I could. And then meanwhile, I tried to make sure I was keeping my options open, seeing what I could study and where I could study. And then eventually got to the end of the year. I had a buttload of cash saved up, moved down to the Gold Coast, found a place to live. And now I'm studying. So when I think of hard work, it's just that for me, I didn't want to get trapped in a cycle of being in a remote area, and coming down to uni, I wanted to try and change that cycle for myself and other people back home.
Gav, that's awesome. Can I jump in real quick? My thing is exactly what Gav did. Denzel Washington, one of my huge iconic mentors that I love, he has a very simple rule. You do what you have to do what you want to do. And it doesn't work the other way. So if you want to go out and, as a kid, you want to go to the movies, you want to hang out with your friends, the first thing you got to do is you got to do what you have to do, which is get that education, get positive role models around you, do the things that matter. And before you know it, you have all this time to do what you want to do. That's my little piece.
Yeah, I guess I'll add on to what Dom was saying. I kind of think of hard work as this term for like radical persistence towards a goal, where like you're not going to give up on it until you get there, kind of thing. And hard work has a lot of different aspects. It's not necessarily just about how much you're working. It's about, are you doing the right things? Are you putting in the right goals? And are you surrounding yourself, like Dom said, with the right role models and people that can help you to actually get to where you're trying to go? But hard work is definitely something that I think is a skill that is learned over time. And the more that you push yourself to get into uncomfortable positions and learning new things, and actually just pushing through, I think the better your willpower gets and the more likely you are to actually reach those goals in the end of the day.
I just want to add on to that as well. Jared mentioned that hard work is a big mixture of things, and I really agree with that, because as Robbie said earlier, hard work means something different for everyone. And for me, hard work is taking up all the opportunities that come my way. But in saying that, a big thing for me is saying a big yes to the things that take me out of my comfort zone, but also learning how to say no when my mental state or my body need a rest. And I think also for me personally, my idea of hard work is an honor to my parents. So my parents migrated to Australia so that me and my sister can have the opportunities that they didn't necessarily have. And so every opportunity that I take on, I want to honor my parents and my actions and honor my family and their family name.
I really love that, Maria. That's one thing that I believe in too, is, you know, we have our opportunities because people before us fought for us to have them. And it doesn't matter where you're from in the world, that is just the case. And it's up to us to make the most of those opportunities. So I loved that. But you said something about learning to say no. And I just want to get a little bit from you and any other guests on the panel today. How do you learn to say no? Like, when is that moment where you're like, I just need to say no to this?
I think for me, look, it's been a real lengthy journey with that, and I'm still learning how to say no. But one of the things I started off with was really small things. So, for example, getting invited to coffee with a friend, let's say, and if I had a really long week or a really long day and I really, really don't want to, but that little bit, that extroverted part of me who loves being around people really wants to say yes. But I think a big part of it is learning how to understand, I guess, my body and my mind, learning how to listen to it. And starting off like that, just saying no to my friends or to going to events and stuff like that. And then that leads to bigger things, like saying no to, I guess, opportunities that might seem really cool, but if my life's too busy or not too busy, but if I know that I'm not able to do it, then I just have to accept and say no to those things. And learning as well, one thing I heard, I think I must have heard it last year, someone said everything is on the way, not in the way. And I think that's how I really like to look at life, is that you're going to have these opportunities. You can say yes, you can say no, but your setbacks are, they're there for a reason, and saying no to things is all part of that reason.
Yeah, I might just add to what Maria was saying. I think, rest is probably the most important thing, actually. A lot of people see it as like a secondary thing, but if you look at a 1K racer, right? If he pushes it in the first 100 meters, he's not making the race. He's not finishing it, So you can work your butt off for the first 100 meters and then not finish the race and not make it to your goal. So learning how to rest better than anyone else, I think, is going to put you in a great position. And learning to say no, that's incredibly difficult. I'm still learning how to do it to this day. I was notorious for being an overcommitter during high school and just doing everything no matter how much time I had. But I think the thing that I learned the most was, is this opportunity that I'm taking, is it going to come around again? If it is, then I can do it later. I don't have to do it right now. If I don't have the time or the energy to do it, I don't have to. B, is that opportunity getting me closer to my overall goal that I want to get to? Because there's a lot of opportunities that are on the side, right? They're like cool things that, they might be great to do, but they're not actually pushing you towards that final goal. So if you can like prioritize exactly what you need to do to get there, then I think choosing those opportunities wisely and taking as many of those as possible is the goal plan.
Yeah, I'll jump in on the back of that, Jared. That's crazy. And Maria, I definitely agree with you. I'll give you an example. When I was in the hospital and I was first learning how to move, connect my brain to my body again, the only exercise I had was from my finger to my knuckle. And I had to focus on that. That was the only thing I could do for nearly 3 months, finger to the knuckle. So that used to do my head in, because all I wanted to do was run and jump and do all kinds of crazy things, but it was like finger to the knuckle. And the other thing I want to tell you guys is, especially to all the mentees out there, no matter what it is in our ancestors' lives, in our lives. Everyone made a decision, good or bad, and we're all watching this right now. So for all the bad that happens in the world, there are a lot of great decisions constantly being made. So just learn that no matter what you do when you make a decision, just roll with it. And if it is a failure time decision and something chaotic happens to it, stop, breathe, and analyze what happened in that situation so you don't make that same decision again. Cool?
Yeah, so I guess I'll just round it out. My saying no advice isn't as big as the other three, but mine's more small things like day-to-day things. For example, yesterday, I don't know, I was getting some lunch and I was on my way to my car, and I think everyone's experienced it where there's people that are trying to sell you things on the side of the mall or something. And there was these two girls and they were fairly young and they were trying to sell me I don't know, some subscription. And you know, they were all like, you could tell they were emotionally invested and they were telling you all the stories and stuff. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to say no here. And I need to make sure that I'm not taking it personally, because that's their job to make you feel that way. And it's their job to make you sort of, you know, not manipulate you, but sort of influence you to get their products. And that's a small thing, but you can apply it to so many things across your life. So just don't take it personally. That's all I can say.
Thanks, Gav. I just want to roll back to something you said, Maria, and the chat line went crazy with it, that everything is on the way. And I just think that is such a beautiful little sentence, like, because we are on a journey and every single one of us has a different road and a different path. And yeah, that's still resonating with me. So that's beautiful. We also have on the chat line from TDL Credible Light, do any of you have regular habits that keep you disciplined towards your goals?
First thing I do is I open my eyes, I breathe, and I'm just taking that 5 minutes. You know how usually the alarm goes off and you're like, I'm going to hit the snooze button, or instead of just, I just stop and I thank everything that I love is right here and now, and I'm awake to see it. Because it was a time when I woke up and I didn't know who I was or what I was. It was 3 months later. So for every morning, the minute I wake up, I just stop and I pause for 5 to 10 minutes and I just breathe. I just absorb the fact that I get to be here.
Yeah, I guess I would say, like, never underestimate the power of the calendar. My mum always says this thing: if it's not written on the calendar, it doesn't exist. So I keep a really detailed calendar, and I wake up and I see that, and I'm like, all right, this is what I need to do, get it done. And yeah, just being able to see that and see you completing stuff, it makes it so much funner, so much easier to continue on your journey.
I think for me, something that Dom said earlier that I wrote down was, he said, stop, breathe, and analyze. I really, really like that, because that's something I really like to do in my life as well. I'm a very reflective, in tune kind of person, so I constantly have to be, checking in with my emotions, with myself, because that for me helps me, to better myself for my next step, and whatever my next step is in, doing my hard work and all that kind of stuff. I can't do it if I'm in a really busy mental state. Kind of like when people say don't go to bed angry. I kind of just like to just not be angry in general. But if I am having to check in with myself, and what Dom said, stop, breathing and analyzing is super important.
All right. Now, just to finish this off, go through each of you. If you had a 10-second message to the kids around the world, what would it be?
I'll go first. Respect your parents.
So, man, Gav, I thought you had like more to go with that, but that's cool. Yeah, definitely. Respect those that came before us, love who are here now, and work hard for those that are yet to come.
I would say just be a listening ear. You never know whose story you can resonate with and what you have to share with the world.
Enjoy the grind. There's going to be times in your life where everything's a little bit difficult and it's a lot of effort, but try and enjoy it along the way.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Enjoy the grind. It's I think that's a coffee analogy, because I definitely do enjoy my morning grind coffee. Now I'm just going to throw it over to a failure time video. 5 minutes left. So let's check this out. Sorry about that. My wife had to grab some baby wipes from my little 5-month-old baby. But, I mean, this is live TV, so we've got to roll with it. Next up, we have Brendan Newton, who's going to show us a bit of a failure time activity.
G'day, guys. I'm guessing I'm in here live now. I'm going to run with it. So, yeah, let's just peel it back and stop for a moment. There's been a lot of gorgeous kind of vibe happening here in this little space, and I'm hoping that everyone on the other side is enjoying it. Some incredible stories coming from the gang: Gavin, Jared, Maria, and Dom Dom. I personally think what I've kind of got out of what's going on here is that we've all had a good punt at life in different directions from different areas. One of the things that continues to resonate with me is the power of appreciating what we are in now. That's something that's become really special for me, as I've suffered badly from anxiety. And some people say the definition of anxiety is either living in the future or living in the past. And one thing that's helped me appreciate the moment that we currently experience is a little bit of mindfulness meditation. So we're guaranteed to fail too, which is a great thing. Our mind does funky things, and we're going to do this together. You're just going to follow a few cues from me, and your mind will do all sorts of things, and accepting that is part of the experience. So there's 3 principles I like to take into a bit of mindfulness is be non-judgmental, be accepting, and be curious. I'll throw in another one, be observant. So let's do this together, and we're going to do a little reflection at the end, and hopefully this serves as a nice experience for people who are running their lives on the other side of this screen, either live or watching the show later on. So, gang, you ready? Okay. How funky is this live TV situation? Just before we get into it, do you like my daughter's, my 5-year-old's curtain behind me? I like it. That's beside the point. Okay. So what I'm going to ask you to do, join in if you're live streaming. I'm just going to help you stop for a moment. It's going to take about 2 to 3 minutes, this practice. And I just want you to notice the sensations on your body. So wherever your mind went to first, wherever your mind sits, that sensation. So it might be, for me, I've got quite a vibration on my chest that I can feel. It might be the buzzing behind your eyes from the caffeine that you've had this morning or before the show. It might be your belly might be twirling a little bit from nerves. Or it might be you're very aware of how cold your hands are, for example. Whatever that is that your mind settles on and just comfortably settles on, we're just going to go through the process of noticing it. We're not changing it. We're not particularly saying if it's good or bad. We're giving ourselves a moment just to notice that particular sensation. And because we're on Imagination TV, we're going to imagine that that particular sensation doesn't belong to us. So you're looking down at your body and you're looking at a sensation. And I'll just allow the mentors there on the show to continue in that experience. And I'm going to do a little bit of talking, but you stay there on that sensation, mentors. And for those at home, those who are a little intrigued, what this practice allows us to do is step outside of our immediate experience, our immediate emotions, and detangle ourselves from those things that we find ourselves reacting to moment to moment. What that allows us to do, the lovely saying from Invictus, that we become the master of our own souls, as opposed to getting caught up in the stream of demands and the tyranny of day-to-day tasks. So let's pull away from that gently now, and we're going to throw it to our deadly mentors who've absolutely inspired me today. Dom, what you said at the start, I was very nervous jumping onto this space, and you said that you were in a position in your life where you jumped, well, basically you found yourself into like you're at sea and there was one thing you could cling on to, and that might have been the movement of your index finger, or it might have been the fact that you recognize the beautiful people with the dark skin in the hospital. And that helped me settle into this space where we have a tremendous privilege to be here together, to have mentors and mentees combining from all different areas to experience this moment. And for me, that allowed me to stay present. For me at the moment, my life raft was just purely being still and experience this moment. So how did you go? And let's be real, our minds do funky things, and they'll go often where we tell them not to go just because we tell them not to go there. What was your experience like in that small piece of meditation, guys? Just go for it like you've been going on the rest of the show. Share your experience.
Yeah, I'll go first. So I live like right next to a busy road on the Gold Coast. So there's a window pretty much to my left here. And there's a lot of noise like construction and cars going past and stuff like that. So I sort of focused on that initially. But then when Brendan sort of spoke about letting go of that and not making it your own, it's not connected to me, but I felt like it was bothering me. So when I sort of disconnected from that, I noticed birds chirping. I noticed the breeze, the different strengths of the breeze and stuff like that. So I sort of just cleared out the noise, man-made noise, and I just listened to the sound of nature, I guess. It's a bit cliche, but that's what I experienced.
That's lovely, mate. And the depth of culture that many people on the screen here have inside them, I've got tremendous respect for. And what this practice allows us to do is purely connect with that depth from what I have learned. So it's not a religious experience or a dogmatic experience. It's purely a spot to stop and see within yourself. So thanks, Cuz. I've been enjoying your stories, man. Hopefully we can get that program over to your islands. Anyone else?
Can I jump in here? I actually was thinking about a question you guys asked earlier. And firstly, Brendan, man, I've always loved what you've done at AIME, and you inspired me to want to do things more with AIME as well. So I just want to quickly tell you that. What I was thinking about was who was the famous person I think about. And I really love Michael Jordan. and who he was, and he was there when we were growing up, when black people weren't really seen on the screen. But then I drifted and I started thinking about Eddie Marbert and how much I adore who he is and what he did and how he did it, even though the whole world was like, no. Even his family was kind of like, you're crazy, man. You're fighting something, and look what he did. And then I was just thinking about that, and I was like, okay, if we're going to Tiwi Islands, I have to get up there. I don't know how, and I will back you guys up 100% as I always have. But that's where I went. I went there, and I was like, I got to back them up. They want to go Tiwi. Let's do this. So I love Tiwi Islands. It's a chance to give back in some way to the inspiration Eddie Marbert was. Because when we were in high school, I think it was 92, 93, we were in, we were in that spot where we were black kids in a white school, and we had nobody to look for. And, you know, the jokes were horrible towards all of us, whether we were Indigenous or not, if you had coloured skin. So Eddie Marbert was actually a hero of mine, which I found in some of my journals and my writing. So that's where I went.
Beautiful. And as I said, connecting often resonates with our deeper self when we get into this meditation. Maria, how'd you go, mate? Much respect for what you've been up to.
I thought that was really cool. I think one thing I really focused on was, you said, paying attention to the sensation in our bodies, but it doesn't belong to us. I think for me, I had two different things. So when I get nervous, I tend to clam my hands together. So a lot of my focus was letting go of my, like, that weird, some tingly feelings in my hands, and knowing that it doesn't belong to me. And just kind of had a weird moment with that. And yeah, it was cool. I liked it.
That's cool. Thanks, mate. And happy if people didn't like it also, but tell me, what do you reckon, Jared?
Yeah, I guess it reminds me a lot of what I used to do before I would perform, go on stage as a musician. I would take a moment to kind of think about what I'm about to do. And I often used to get nervous quite a bit when I was younger. And I have essential tremor, so I shake involuntarily. And for your vocal cords, when you're singing, that makes you sound very nervous on top of already being nervous. So kind of what I used to do before I would go on stage, I would think about, okay, the person going on stage is like the old version of me, and then the future version of Jared is going to be like, wow, that was like mad. I'm so glad that I did that. So I kind of don't even think that I'm experiencing it. Like, I'm just doing it, kind of thing. But yeah, that's kind of the thought I had. And when I was sitting there thinking, I was thinking about all the work that I'm going to have to do once I get off this call. So
Cool. Thanks for going on that journey with us, guys. And I'll just leave you really quickly. Shout out to Michelle Zervos, who just jumped on. Has been a massive part of this journey. But I'll leave you with one comment now that I think it's almost ran as a bit of a thread through this show before I throw back to Robbie, our great mentor and buddy who hangs out up at Coffs Harbour, Perul, which actually means look within. In the Southern Indian culture, his name. He actually taught me that a saying that says, the obstacle is the path. So we're experiencing, whether it be tremors or whether it be a loss of memory, or whether it be excruciating anxiety and OCD for 15 years, or whether it be the debilitating anxiousness that makes us clamp our hands, all those things can be actually the path as opposed to something unwelcome. Over to you, Robbie.
Thanks, Brendo. And mindfulness, the last thing you said there, Brendo, with the obstacle, the path, I mean, that's just like another nugget of gold that we've spoken about in this show. But I think with mindfulness, it actually goes hand in hand with the topic for today, which is hard work, because I think sometimes you can get out of yourself and sometimes you can get ahead of where you want to be. But remembering to stay mindful and connecting with yourself can really help you, I guess, on that pathway to whatever your goal is. But in wrapping up, I just want to say thank you to Dom, to Maria, to Gavin, to Jared. This show has been incredible. You guys have dropped some absolute nuggets of gold, from like Denzel quotes to, you know, being everyone, like the whole line where everything is on the way. Like I'm still feeling that, and you know, the being persistent in your goals. This was just an incredible experience. Thank you so much. Hard work is an integral part of human life, and you guys are the embodiment of what that means, and the embodiment of what it means to be an AIME mentor and an AIME leader. So from me up in Brisbane, thank you to all. Thank you all at home for watching. Everyone who's commented on the live chat. It's been a fantastic experience for me, and I'm sure it has been for you as well. Have a lovely Tuesday, and we'll see you on the show tomorrow.